Hello guys, welcome back to Salesforce Anytime channel. Did you ever wanted to deploy some of your changes in your Salesforce development org into another development org, let's say QA org or SIT or UAT org or even production org? So how do you deploy your changes to one Salesforce org to another Salesforce org? So normally you would have used change sets in Salesforce. So you deploy any changes you do in the metadata using a change set to your higher sandboxes. For example, dev to QA, QA to SIT, SIT to UAT, and UAT to production, right? So this is how normally you would do that. Today I'm going to talk about how you can deploy your changes even without change sets. So if you wanted to deploy your changes, Salesforce metadata changes to another sandbox, then you would need to set up the change sets inside your org structure. So you should set up like inbound change sets and outbound change sets, right, in each of the org. You have to actually set up the connections between those orgs, and then only you can deploy your changes, right? But what if you don't have any kind of setup firstly in order to deploy the using change sets, right? So I'm going to show you a simple way you can just get your changes. You can select which of the metadata components you want to deploy, be it Apex class or any other metadata components. And once you select those Apex or the metadata components, you can easily deploy to the target org without even having to create a change set inside your org. So let me quickly show you how you can do this. So this is the page of deployment status. Now normally I just kept it open so that we could see any deployments we do. We can actually see the status here. So let me go back to packmagics.com. So you could actually Google it or type it in the URL packmagics.com. Once you are here, just log in using OAuth 2.0. So I'm going to use my to log in. Let me select this one. So I need to click on allow. Okay, so once I'm logged into this, I can easily select which of the metadata components I want to deploy to another org. So before I can actually deploy to another org, I also need to log into that another org. So good thing about this is you could also deploy your changes from a Salesforce Developer Edition org to another Salesforce Developer Edition org, which is not possible with change sets. So this is a good thing about Packmagics here. So let me add a new connection here. Let me give it a name for understanding purpose. I'm just going to give it like QA as a name. Then I'm going to validate org. I'm going to select another org here, which is this one, and then I'm going to log in. Once I log in, it's going to ask me for permissions, so I am allowing the permission. Okay, so now I'm logged in. If you wanted to see, you could actually see it in the connections. Both of the orgs should have been added in the connections. So let me go to the package explorer and select few metadata components here. I'm going to show you some Apex classes. So once I select Apex classes, it's going to show me the Apex classes inside my org, which is the first org which I logged into, which was my Bright Hug org here. So now I'm selecting these two Apex classes and I'm going to add it to the package. This is the same process how the Packmagics worked before. The only difference now is that once you add any of the metadata components into this, you can actually click the button add to deployer. So what it's going to do is it's actually going to add whatever components you add here to the deployer section of this PMics. So I'm going to click add to deployer. So here now you can see the source org is the default org, which was the first org I logged into. So in your case this could be your development org, and then the target org is what I'm going to select, the QA org, which we logged into second. And now I should be able to deploy this to target org using deploy package to target org, or I should be able to validate before deployment. And I also should be able to get a backup of the package for you if you are actually deploying some changes to target org and you're not sure what is present in the target org, right? So in that case, if you wanted to have a backup, just click on this. So it's going to get the same components backed up if it's present in the target org. If it's not, then obviously not. But if the same components are already present in the target org, then you could use this feature. So now let me also show you there are different tabs here. So you can see there is a options tab. So here you can actually select which of the test classes you want to run during the deployment. So normally by default there is no test run actually selected, where we are not running any test classes. But if you wanted to run a test classes, then just select this. So this is going to display you the test classes in the target org, and if you have any test classes in the deployment. So I'm going to select 2 test classes here and just click on add rows button. So now these 2 are selected, and the status tab is the final status tab, which we would want to see once we are deploying the changes. So let me now show you this. So I'm going to firstly use the validate package in the target org, so that we could actually see the we can actually validate this package and before deployment, and we can see what's the is it going to pass or not. So let me use this. So it's going to take a minute to validate this into the QA sandbox, and you can see once the deployment has been started, you can see the deployment ID of this deployment, and also you can see the status into Salesforce if you wanted to. So I have kept the deployment status window here, which I can show you. But as you can see, there are errors happened in this validation. So you can see what is the error. You can see it here. So you can see there's one class which has a variable account category which is not existing in the target org. So this is what it will show you if there are errors, and in case of successful deployments, it will show you warnings here. So now let me go and show you this particular deployment status. I clicked on the link, so easily you can navigate. Yes, so you can now see. So this it's just taking some time. Yes, so you can see there were 2 deployment classes I had, and one of them has an error. That's why you can see this is an error, right? But it did not run any test classes because the deployment component itself has an error. So once these are successful, then the test classes will run. Let me go back and try removing this account category class. That. So I'm going to remove this batch account category class, and then now I'm going to try deploying this batch process accounts and with these two test classes. So let me use again validate, so we'll see if there are any errors or not. So this is the current status of the deployment, which is under process. Yes, and now you can see the validation has been completed, and there are some errors. So as you can see, there are test classes which are failed, which we tried to run during the deployment, and there is another message that the test class coverage is not meeting the 75% minimum coverage. So this is normally how Salesforce maintains or enforces the test class coverage during the deployments. So I want to see the status, so let's go here. Yes. Okay, as you can see, the test classes which were failed are coming here. So you can see the details on this screen if you want to. Okay, now let me remove these test classes and see if this is going to work, the deployment. So I'm going to remove the test classes. Now I don't have any test classes to run, so I'm going to remove this option. And I'm going to try validating this without any test classes. So let's assume that our test classes are running successful. Then what will be the result of the validation? So this is showing the status. The deployment is in progress. Once it's complete, it should display the messages here. Oh, so it's by default selecting this. Yeah, I guess I need to go back and do this again. Let me just do this again. Let me select an Apex class which is not this one. Select and then add to deployer. Oops, I already have this right here. Can deploy this without let's say no test run, and then deploy package or validate package. Oops, sorry, I need to select the target org. Now validate. Yes, this is successfully validated. Now you can see, right, the single test class is being successfully validated. If you want to check the status in Salesforce, you could check it here, but I'm not going to open that. It's very slow for me. Then if I want to deploy this, I'm just going to use deploy after validation. And if you want to take the backup of this Apex class from the target org before you make any changes to the target org, you use this button to download the zip file of the package so you can have it the backup. So I'm going to deploy this now, and let's see if it's successful. So the deployment is in progress, as you can see it here. Yes, so now it has successfully completed the deployment, and you could see the one Apex class is successfully deployed. If you want to open it in the target org, you can use this button to open it and check the status. Let me see show it to you. I'm clicking on this. As you can see, the deployment has been successfully completed. It shows the okay, so the deployment has been successfully completed. This is what I wanted to show you in this video. If you have any comments regarding this deployment, please let me know in the comments area, or submit a feedback inside the help section in the feedback menu. So thank you very much for watching this and having your time. Thank you. Bye.